plants to collect seeds from the mallibars. Hello everybody, welcome back to Hidden Harvest with Liz. Today we're going to be doing a quick tour and I'll be combining all of these videos along with a whole bunch of work I've done all month long. So let's go ahead and check out some recent develops in the garden and of course what I've been working on. Alright, let's do this tour. My name is Liz. Just for context, I am in Middle Georgia. We are zone 8A/B, but zones really don't matter when it comes to annual herbs and plants and things like that. It usually only has anything to do with like shrubs, bushes, trees, mostly trees. Fruiting trees is when you're really concerned about that, but just so you know, we're probably, let's see, what's today, the 26th? I guess the 26th, October 26th. So November 9th is my first frost, or supposed to be my first frost. And today I looked at the map and found out we're supposed to be getting rain over the next 3 days, which is kind of throwing me for a little bit of a loop. I have got this bed back here, which is where my garlic is supposed to go, that is not quite ready yet. I wanted to go get another bag of soil because I also have another bed when I'm going to plant garlic too. It's just going to be a different type of garlic and it doesn't even have the soil in there yet. Let's go ahead and get to the garden part. For context, like I usually do, we have our orchard, driveway side beds, main garden, chicken house, fake greenhouse that does not work, and on the other side we have got our vines. This is actually coming out very soon. We've got our first bed. This is where my onions are going to go, this bed and this bed. I can't really plant onions until I think the end of January, beginning of February is when my onions will go in. So I'm working on these beds, but ultimately these will get paused when the first frost is coming. I'm trying to wait as long as possible before I take all of these squashes and loofahs and all of the pumpkins that are everywhere. I have a pumpkin over here, one on the other side. That bed's not really worried about. That one is going to be disassembled and moved, and that one needs to be worked on. But those are all future projects. This bed, which is the driver's side bed, this is where my elephant garlic is going to go and where it's going to stay after I get it planted. We have our walking onions, some assorted flowers, and assorted herbs, and then we're going to have a couple of flower beds down there. So far, the only thing I've gotten over there are sunflowers and amaranth, and I haven't figured out what I want to do for like a winter flower. I might do, I don't know, I might ultimately put pansies or something like that in those beds for the winter time, but this year I don't think I'm going to put that on my plate to work on. Over here, first, before we get into this main garden tour, let me point you to my pathways. There's something going on, and I'm not quite sure what. There's diggy holes all over the place. Now, some of these I did while I was getting roots out, but there's some stuff I know I didn't do, like right here, over here, all over here, over here, over here, all over here. There's a whole bunch of disturbance over here, up there, lots of disturbance back there. Don't pay any attention to that. It's collapsed. We'll fix it after I get all the vines off of it. I'm not that worried about it because it's just about the end of the season. And then the disruption goes all the way back here, and it even looks like they were digging around at this plant. I'm trying to find it on my screen because it actually kind of blends in. This one, is it gooseberry? I don't remember. I'll look it up and see if I can. Anyway, it's been digging around that one, digging around that one, and I have no idea what it is. I haven't caught whatever is doing it. I know that it's showing a little bit of interest in my chickens, so thankfully their chicken house is pretty locked up tight. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do about this, but so far they haven't, whatever it is, gotten into a bed. Knock on wood, it hasn't gotten into a bed. I just realized that plant was doing something weird. Anyway, so far it hasn't gotten into any of the beds, and I'm hoping that whatever it is not inclined to get up in the beds. It looks like it's rooting around in my pathway for bugs. If I had to guess what it was looking for, possibly squirrels burying nuts, maybe? I'm not sure. It kind of makes me a little bit scared that something's actually trying to get into the chicken house. Or as it gets colder and things start dying off for the season, it will start to get into the chicken house. Because I do see a bit of digging around the chicken coop. But no worries, we also have a Roo in there, and he is very protective of his ladies. So let's get back to the tour. Let me know what your... I found another spot. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm thinking squirrels because we've got a lot of squirrels. I have seen the occasional rabbit, but since none of my stuff has actually been eaten on, I don't think so. Squirrels typically don't mess around the beds. They start burying nuts and looking for things. So, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, like I said, this one and this one are going to be for my onions, and they aren't going to be planted out soon. I'm already turning the soil over, and I'm going to put some stuff in here to decompose for between now and then, but it's just going to be fertilizer, probably a little bit of chicken yard dirt, that kind of thing that I'll put in there. This bed over here, I seeded, I don't know, 7 times trying to get carrots to grow, and finally I gave up. I figured it's just not my carrot year, nothing's germinating, I can't get it to do it, no matter which technique I used. So I went back and planted some spinach, and it looks like the spinach actually come up, which is weird because this will be my first year I've actually gotten spinach to germinate. This has never happened before. Every time I planted spinach, it has never showed up. So I guess this year, instead of carrots, we'll get spinach. I've also got myself some green onions. I really like some green onions. I'm going to have to make this tour fast because I'm already starting to feel sprinkles and we've got a storm rolling in. We have got our red cabbages, some sweet alyssum, leeks at the end. There's also a char over there. I'm not sure how we feel about char. We haven't actually tried it. We've got our collard greens, kale, and there's some more kale. This is the, I can't remember which kind this one is called, echinacea. Now these right here, they have got green petals, which is weird because the ones that came up before were yellow petaled. So I don't know what's going on there, but it still looks cool. I actually tried to grow several different types of kale, and this is the only one that came up this year. And this is my chicken coop bed. Basically, all of the greens that I feed to the chickens are in this bed. So we've got some mustard. I've got an assortment of greens here between turnips and radishes and all kinds of stuff that I just threw in here. There's a random tomato trying to grow. A few lettuces, some char, just like a whole bunch of random stuff. I call this my chicken salad bar. And then going straight over, this will be bed 10. Like I said, I'm having to go fast because there's a storm incoming. I have got all of my cauliflower. This is like the little snowball cauliflower and a mustard. And over on the other side, hang on, I'll go over there. It's a little hard to see. On this other side, I've also got some alyssum and some more alyssum. Alyssum is basically in the brassica family. It will grow all winter long and typically self-seeds, which is very, very good for this kind of year. And then I have got my broccoli. And then we've got our mustard. Oh, and right through there, I don't know if you can see it, there's a few leeks that are in this vague spot right there. I figure as these things get taken out, because these things will die back in a frost, like a heavy frost will kill these. Once these go, the leeks will survive. Then right behind it, we have got cabbage. This is a green acre, I think, cabbage. I'm not really sure. I've got some leeks down here at the end. Some leeks right here. And as I stated before, this bed right here is going to be part of my onion stuff. So whenever that bed and this bed get roughed up, turned over, stuff put into it, I'll just cover these beds and wait for time to plant. I've got my two tiny little beds right here. There's a sweet potato in each one of them. And I basically let them grow out the vines. And then I put it over here for the chickens to eat the vines. And then I move it back over here and let it grow some more. But winter is a-coming. So I'm just leaving it there and letting them finish it off. Possibly even dig out the sweet potato if they can get to it. And then over here, I had the onions I tried starting. Didn't turn out so great. I haven't moved the containers back yet. Kind of working on other things like that. Oh my gosh. And then over here, we have got some daikon radishes. How are we doing, by the way? I have no idea. I need to find out what days to maturity are on the daikon radishes. I have no idea. But there is some alyssum, some turnips. There's a couple more kohlrabis left. I've already harvested and eaten the others. These guys, they're just about at size. I did do another seeding of regular radishes over here. It didn't really take, but the dill is going great. And then I've got some leeks along the side and a whole bunch of radishes that are starting to mature, which is good because this bed is going to get to the point where it no longer gets a whole lot of sun. My sun goes from here all the way across here, basically during the winter time. So while it's here, these beds don't get any sun. During the height of winter, these beds really don't get any sun. That one gets a little bit, which is why I'm putting onions in that one. I won't be putting anything else in here after this stuff comes out. This bed will rest. Okay, then to this monstrosity back here, that is the loofah. I have got quite a bit of loofahs that are hiding in here. Some that are already dried right there, some that are just starting to turn. We have not very long before our last frost, or our first frost rather. So I'm going to be cleaning these guys out. The fruit has to come off because it will get mushy if it gets frosted. So I'll have to come out here and pick all of those. But I'm trying to wait till the last minute because I do have some Seminole pumpkins that are trying to come up. I don't know that they'll have a chance to finish. This is lemon balm, and it did come back from last year. This was planted last year, and it's been taken over by the loofah. And I kind of want to move the lemon balm out of here. I'm thinking about moving it way up there to one of those beds instead of having this bed, because I want to devote these beds to more vegetables and take perennial stuff and move it elsewhere, just so I can focus on specifically food items over here. And I won't have to worry about whenever I need to turn the beds over accidentally disrupting the perennials. I have loofah and butternut squash. There's actually a butternut squash hiding back there. That's the only one I'm waiting on. The rest have already come off. And then we have an artichoke that is currently being choked. There we go. Somehow or another, some morning glory got over here. I did not plant that, and it is actually somewhat of an invasive species. It's over there on my fence line. And I guess a bird dropped it over here. It's the only thing I could think of. It's all up in this bed, and I have to dig it out. But here is my turmeric, which did in fact grow, and the leaves are yellowing, so it's probably about harvest time. And I'm not sure, but I'm going to have to find a different place for this, because I put these here because there was a tree right here that caused shade over these beds. And while the turmeric really loves heat, it doesn't like full sun. So I don't think it's going to go good here next year. Is there anything else intentionally planted in here? Oh man. I just saw this. This means that the morning glory is already self-seeded back into this bed. I do have a perennial flower in here. Right here. This is moonflower. And of course it only blooms up at night. And now it's trying to compete with this mess. And then on top of that, this mess collapsed this thing. So that's going to have to be fixed at some point. But as you can see, there are some massive loofahs in here that I still have to dig out. I just haven't gotten to them yet, but I'm going to have to very shortly. Yeah, I'm going to have to pause on doing those beds and come back over here and start working on this, because I need to dig all of these out before the first frost. There's like 5 or 6 of them underneath there. I see others hiding in there. They're also over here. I just saw that. Whenever I did all of my planting for the year, I thought I was growing more other types of squash, but it was the same problem I ran into during the summertime. And it was the first round of stuff didn't come up. So I reseeded the pots because I made starts and I put them out in the garden. And somehow or another, in the shuffle of all of the things that I started, instead of getting all the squash that I wanted, like there was supposed to be cantaloupe and other squashes. I had honey nut, but I also had a butternut squash. I might have that reversed. Butternut is the bigger one and honey nut is the smaller one. I think I planted both of those, or thought I did. Anyway, I wound up with a ton of loofah. Long story short, I wound up with a ton of loofah. So I won't need loofah again next year, and I probably won't grow it. It probably will self-seed. I doubt very seriously I'll manage to get all of the vines taken down, and there might be a loofah somewhere that I did not manage to pick, and it will start up again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for being here. Let me know if you like this type of content better. It's better than not being able to bring you guys along with it, but sometimes I just have time to throw the camera in place and run and get some work done, because I'm not sure how well the camera's going to pick that up. I already have a storm coming, and I get like one day a week I can come out here and really do some serious work. And if it happens to be raining on that day, I'm kind of screwed. So yeah, thank you guys for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed all of the random stuff. Hopefully Editing Liz was able to do something with all of the footage that I captured earlier. this month. I will see you guys next time. You have a wonderful day on planet and you stay shiny. Bye.